Hello and welcome back to another Fun Fact Friday.
We think dads are awesome and we are known to spout it regularly. And this Sunday will be Father's Day.
Now, have you ever wondered why it's not called Fathering Sunday?
No. And we thought what better time than now to show dads some love.
Want to know why we think they're amazing and what makes them so important? Today we're going to find out.
Fun Fact Friday, week 129.
There are 1.5 billion fathers in the world.
Dads, we think you're amazing, and to show you that we love you, we're going to name each and every one of you.
Aidan, Ardit, Aaron.
Whoa. We are going to be here forever. How about just Dad, Papa, Pops, or whichever you choose to use?
That makes a lot more sense. Well, that makes the video considerably shorter.
Nothing prepares you for meeting your child for the very first time.
You're overwhelmed by a feeling of responsibility for them, for their happiness and well-being, for their future. You're prepared to do whatever it takes to be fucking awesome in this new role. The influence that your parents had on you will be brought into perspective, both good and bad. Your job becomes breaking the cycle of bad ones and fostering the good.
Fathers have a crazy big effect on their children, something we at Small Acorn are all too often shouting about. With Father's Day just around the corner, we thought what better time to have a look at the facts that we've covered so far in honour of these 1.5 billion dads.
Week 69 showed that dads don't always get it that easy during pregnancy and that they can experience a whole myriad of hormonal changes during pregnancy. We suffer drops in our levels of testosterone, with some studies showing that can be up to a 33% decrease.
This is thought to make men less aggressive and competitive, but more cooperative and able to bond with their impending newborn. It's also noted that this drop makes men less likely to go and sow their seed elsewhere and encourages their focus on their family.
Pregnancy also brings with it increases in estrogen, oxytocin, and the lactation promoting hormone, in women at least, prolactin.
Prolactin is strongly related to offspring care and its exact function in men is poorly understood.
What we do know is that it's responsible for weight gain.
#DadBod.
It's related to the responsiveness to anxiety and can also inhibit reproductive function, something that would complement the reduction in testosterone.
Bonus fact! Way back in week 23, we covered something called witch's milk that was caused by the hormone prolactin. Prolactin surges through a woman's system before and after birth and is the hormone that causes a mother to start lactating. The levels of prolactin at 4 months into a pregnancy make it possible for a woman to be capable of breastfeeding. But the levels of progesterone and estrogen make this impossible, and it is the reduction of these two hormones after birth that make it possible for prolactin to work its magic. This is where the witch's milk comes in. With prolactin being at such high levels, some of it inevitably gets through the breast milk to the newborns. When a baby's prolactin level rises, it causes similar effects, swollen mammary tissue and a milky nipple discharge called galactorrhea. It is galactorrhea, isn't it?
Galactorrhea.
Yeah. Galactorrhea. This affects 5% of all babies. That's right, it also includes the boys.
Fathers-to-be can also experience something called Cavard syndrome, otherwise known as a sympathetic pregnancy. Cavard syndrome comes with a whole heap of associated symptoms, with one study listing 35 of them.
And it doesn't stop there. Week 84 showed us that dads also go on to have more hormonal shifts once their baby is born.
Most of these changes are to prime us fathers so we can establish a biochemical bond with our newborns.
These biochemical processes are what forges a father-child bond, one very similar to that of a mother and child.
We also have a rise in oxytocin that was previously thought to only happen to mothers. Oxytocin plays a role in altering and effectively rewiring our brains to respond to any threat that may affect our little one's comfort and/or survival.
The rise in oxytocin helps in relationship building and has positive, long-lasting effects for the whole family.
Week 91 brought with it the discovery that new fathers can make new neurons in a process called neurogenesis.
In the days after birth, both dads and their newborns will experience changes that will forever alter their brains.
Whilst almost all of us will experience alterations in the way our brains behave, however small, some of us may be fortunate enough to grow new neurons.
Studies have shown that fathers gain grey matter in several regions of the brain, but that comes at a cost, the shrinkage of other parts of the brain.
The parts that show growth were involved in reward processing, hormonal control, emotional processing, memory and decision making.
The parts that showed a loss have been associated with anxiety, and those fathers that showed a greater loss in this area tended to play more boldly with their children.
Week 102 made the case for fathers having the ability to outperform mothers when identifying their own baby's cry from other children's cries.
The study that we looked at found that there was no difference between men and women.
They were able to show that the ability to distinguish your own child's cries from others was based solely on the amount of time you spent with your child.
Those who spent less than 4 hours a day performed the worst, both men and women.
So if men were to spend more time than the mother with their little ones, they are more likely to be able to differentiate their own baby's cries even better than the mother.
Think all babies' cries are the same? Think again. Week 121 showed us that babies actually have different cries and you can learn to tell the difference.
In week 118, we showed how babies are born expecting a father to be present, and that part of their brains are expecting the interaction with its dad. And without his presence, that part of the brain simply dies off. Absent fathers quite literally can cause brain damage to their offspring.
In addition to this, the parts of the brain that die off are related to a number of other functions, including metabolism, hormone regulation, decision making, rewards, expectations, and emotions. One area affected by this loss has been associated with OCD, compulsive and repetitive behaviour, and addiction.
But a more troubling association was in a child's ability to sense and process touch, something that is absolutely critical to each and every child. Take a look at week 109 when we found out how withholding touch has actually killed babies, many thousands in fact, even when they were adequately fed and watered.
Many parenting habits are passed down through generation after generation. Sometimes parenting can be tough and you'll regularly need to make decisions. Pass down the habits of old or become a better version.
In these situations when we were struggling to behave the way we want, we use the mantra, break the cycle.
Break the cycle of bad habits. Find more favourable ones. Break the cycle that was passed on to you from your parents and from their parents to them, and so on.
Dads are crazy important when it comes to parenting and the development of their children, something we hope is evident from our previous fun facts that we visited today.
Sunday is the day we celebrate them all and say thanks. So thank you to fathers everywhere. Thank you to each and every single 1.5 billion of you. You are fucking awesome.
Be brought into perspective. 69 showed that
No,
dads...
I wasn't looking, sorry.
It's taken us 12 minutes to make a cheap gag.
Do the gag.
Have you ever wondered why it's... Have you ever wondered why it's called not called fathering? For crying out loud.
And is it... and...
We turn the volume up then. 91. Its interaction with its... Holy shit.
Boom!
That was nice. Thank you for joining us for another Fun Fact Friday.
We need your help to plant more small acorns and reach more people. Please like, comment and share to show you care. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe and get alerts for a new fun fact every Friday.
We'll see you next week.